This is Monkey World, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. With every animal comes a story. Some funny, some shocking. Dramas great and small. Today on Monkey Life, Jim checks up on chimpanzee Charlie. He's getting picked on at mealtimes.
He really doesn't have it in him to be a tough guy. He doesn't like to fight, he doesn't like violence, and he really can't compete in this.
And nerves start to show when Mexican chimp Brian meets foster mum Sally. Rescuing primates is a crucial part of Monkey World's work. So far, the park has rescued 118 primates with the help of 15 governments around the world. This year, they broke new territory. They rescued Brian, their first chimp from Mexico. And this morning, something important is about to happen. He's met some of the primate care staff.
Hello.
But now, he's going to meet his first chimp. His new foster mum, Sally, from the nursery group. The team are relying on Sally's perfect chimp skills to make the introduction go smoothly.
Sally's the chosen one in the park. Sally's who we introduce every baby chimp to. It's from Sally that they learn about chimpanzee social structure, hierarchy, how to behave, what to expect. Sally's his best chance of one day growing up and being into a group just like all the others have.
Brian had a terrible start in life. He was being used as a beach photographer's prop in Mexico. His owner knocked most of his teeth out so he wouldn't bite the tourists that he was forced to pose with.
Hey.
But he had a lucky escape. Because he was so young, the Mexican authorities confiscated him, and he spent a year being very well looked after at the Escaret Eco Park. But because they only care for native species, Monkey World were asked to take him so he could grow up with his own kind. Jim and Alison are now keen for Brian and Sally to meet. And although Sally's very experienced with young chimps, animal manager Jeremy is on hand to support Brian.
Yes, let's go. Jeremy?
Yeah, he's good, he's good.
With everything in place, Sally can make her entrance. As she approaches Brian, he's understandably nervous.
Oh, good girl, son. Good girl. Good girl. Where's he gone? I can't see him. Hey, look, I'm a maypole all of a sudden. Yeah. No, that's not a good idea.
No one knows if he's ever even met an adult chimp. But when youngsters are nervous, Sally knows exactly what to do. Hang back and give them space.
She's okay. She's okay. That's Sal. Yeah, you're with me, okay? You're with me, and that's Sal. That's okay. We're all together. Good girl, so I've got to bring him a banana.
Her slow, careful movements help Brian realise she isn't actually a threat.
Okay. I think he's warming to you, Sal, because you're so good at this, aren't you? You're so good. Oh, here we go. Oh, good girl.
Good girl.
Within minutes, Sally has worked her magic. The younger the chimps arrive at the park, the easier it is to integrate them. Brian is only 3 years old, so it gives him a big advantage.
Within 5 minutes, he did what we've seen many times. The light switch went on, and all of a sudden he remembered who he is, he remembered what he was supposed to do, and before you know it, from screaming, he was in there, and he was getting a really big hug from Sally, so just incredible, just amazing.
Sally's next tactic is to try and put Brian at ease by grooming him. In the wild, chimps live in social groups, and grooming is probably their most important social behaviour. It maintains or improves friendships and calms nervous or tense individuals.
Gonna come and join our party? Join our gang? Well, it didn't last long, did it, Sal?
But Brian's had little or no experience of being a chimp, so he just wants to do the fun stuff, like play.
He likes being tickled. He does like that. The grooming's not so popular. Tickle him.
She's trying to teach him how to groom, but as always, Sally's not going to push it too far. She's absolutely brilliant.
Sally has once again proved that she's the perfect foster mum. Now she's earned Brian's trust, they will spend the night together. Alison has been waiting for this amazing moment for a very long time.
I just can't even believe it after more than a year of sort of paperwork and people talking about him and all of the reasons why he couldn't come. It seems hard to believe that he is finally here. And really nice. So first thing I'm going to do is try and get some photos done and send them back to Mexico so that everybody who worked so hard getting him here on that end can see that he's here and he's about to have a whole family of his own.
In Paddy's chimp group, the 21 members are a relaxed lot. This is because their alpha male has fantastic leadership skills. In the wild, it's the boss's job to protect their community and territory from other chimps. They also have to keep their own troop in order. They do this with a strict hierarchy. The female chimps have a pecking order as well. It can shift when the younger females grow up and try to compete with the higher-ranking girls. Today, that's just what seems to be happening between old girl Zoe and low-ranking Lola. A scuffle has broken out. It's unusual to see Zoe backing down, and it's a brave move by Lola, as she is one of the lowest-ranking members of the troop. She's taking a risk and putting herself in a dangerous situation. Zoe may be getting old, but she is still a high-ranking individual with many allies. And it doesn't take long for second-in-command Jimmy to step in and put Lola in her place. While Zoe tries to hold on to her position in the group, the youngest chimp member, Eddie, is beginning to find her place within the strict hierarchy. The 5-year-old was born at the park and she's the only chimp to be successfully raised by her group from birth. It's given her a fantastic start in life. Through every developmental stage, her mum Susie and her extended family have been there to teach her how to be a good chimp. And as she grows, the more her chimp politics skills develop. Today, she wants to show her dad, Paddy, she's beginning to understand her place. Submitting to him shows respect and trust. Paddy has always doted on his little girl, which has given her a lot of confidence. She is totally at ease with all of the group and wise enough to know that there are some chimps you must be respectful to, like Paddy, and some you can stand up to, like cheeky Gamba. It seems she has the boys just where she wants them. But finding her place with the ladies may not be quite as straightforward. Baby orangutan Dinda is now 3 months old. She's the park's 4th orangutan birth. And keeper Mike has been hand-rearing her. Orangutans spend most of their lives living high up in the trees, so learning to hang on tight, even when their mums are carrying them, is a vital skill. When an orang is hand-reared, it's crucial that their muscle tone and coordination are developed. So Mike's devised an intriguing garment to help Dinda develop her gripping skills.
Alison actually had a really good idea about making a sort of tabard out of all these dog toys. So I've just got the last one just to attach at the bottom here. And believe it or not, you can actually put your head in and wear it. And then the idea is that when we take Dinda out, she actually hangs on to us rather than us carry her around. And hopefully she'll start to hang on to all the toys with her hands and her feet and encourage her to sort of get a bit of muscle. She's struggling now to sort of sit herself up. She can sit herself up. She hasn't climbed any higher than there. But hopefully this is actually going to encourage her to do those sort of things. I just hope she appreciates it. After me spending all day trying to work out the best way to connect everything. How about that then, Dinda? You thrilled to bits about that? Right, so here we go. I was always good at making fancy dress costumes. That's the idea. So let's see if she appreciates it. Hey, look at this. Are you going to come to me? You're a little bit stuck now, aren't you? Yeah, that's a bit scary, isn't it? What about this? Let's close your little door. This is an orangutan gymnasium, but a portable one, a walking one. You hold on to that. Yeah, you do. Go on. That one is going to have to get used to hanging on to something as well. Hold on to that. Good girl. There, that's got that one on. And you've got another foot here. Mostly orangutans have 2 feet. You hold on to there with that one. Good girl. And don't slip down. There you are.
The reason Mike decided to develop this contraption is because hand-reared babies can be a bit lazy. Dinda knows if she were to fall, Mike would catch her. But if she was living with Mum and didn't hold on tightly, it could prove fatal.
Obviously, I'd be a little bit careful to start off with until she's really got used to the idea of doing it. But I used to go for a walk into the woods with her, and I used to make her hold on to my sweater because, you know, she has to learn how to hold on rather than carry her around. And usually by the time I'd walked for about, 10 minutes, she was down by my knees, where she actually got further and further down. So hopefully this will be easier for her to hold on to.
So all that's left to find out is if Mike's hard labour has been worth it.
You holding on all right? Well done. It's a good girl, Dinda.
At Monkey World Rescue Centre, in the Bachelor Group, one of the most lovable characters, Chimpanzee Charlie, is being picked on at mealtimes. As it's the park's mission to ensure that all the primates are happy, Jim's come to see Charlie's situation for himself.
Staff have been telling me that Charlie's having to work a little bit harder for his food. He really doesn't have it in him to be a tough guy. He doesn't like to fight, he doesn't like violence, and he really can't compete in there. So what's been happening is that, when they've been feeding them, Charlie's going around asking for food, and he's, would you please, could you give me some? And he's doing all of that, and sometimes they'll share, but most of the times they don't. So I thought I'd come up, see for myself. I mean, he's had a tough time, Charlie. He doesn't have a lot going for him. I can see the poor boy waiting over there. I see you. He's sticking his tongue out.
Although you're not supposed to have favourites, Charlie was one of Jim's first rescues, so he has a soft spot for him. And sadly, when the food's dished out, alpha male Butch does indeed go for Charlie. Chimp life is a volatile one, and mealtimes seem to bring out the worst in everyone. Charlie's pal Paquito is also having problems landing a treat. This is because he's at the bottom of the pecking order, so he has to wait. He tries to sneak off inside, but is spotted by Butch. Intimidated, Paquito drops his corn, feeling sorry for him.
Come on.
Jim tries again.
Come on then. Come on.
Even with Jim's help, it seems low-ranking Paquito is going to have to give up for now. This may seem unfair for Paquito, but it's a natural part of chimp life. And at least he isn't being physically picked on at mealtimes, like Charlie.
Yeah, he got hassled from everybody. He got really nervous and kept looking around for his opening, So I thought if I can keep Butch happy, give him some, and just keep getting him towards Charlie at the same time, keep getting some to him, that sooner or later he's going to sneak in, he's going to grab a couple. So he did. He didn't let me down. It was great. Charlie's doing the best he can because he's got no weaponry. He's got no way to fight. So he's just got to try to be a nice guy. He really is overall pretty happy here. He's very happy here.
At last, Charlie has managed to get some corn. He's holding out his hand to Jester to show he's submissive. So hopefully he'll be allowed to keep hold of the treat. And as alpha male Butch is out of sight, Charlie may even be able to relax.
I don't think you'd ever call Butch steadfast. I mean, he's the archetypal fair weather friend. He loves Charlie in his own way, but he just loses it so completely. And Charlie never did like to fight, never did like confrontation, and it's why you gotta love him. You know, he is an innocent, if you like, in this big bad boy's world. You see Butch rough him up sometimes, and it kind of grabs you, kind of breaks your heart a little bit, because he just doesn't deserve it. He's on close monitoring, Charlie. Charlie's on close monitoring every day of his life by everybody in this park. And I think everybody loves him so much that you just gotta put that little bit of extra effort in, you know? That's what we've gotta do now. We've gotta make sure that Charlie's okay. I don't know how long Charlie's gonna be with us. You know, he just looks and acts like an old man, but you know, you can't tell. He could be here for a long time, maybe not. But for as long as he's here, let's make it a little bit special for him.
And for 365 days a year, making all the primates' lives special is exactly what Jim and his dedicated team do. But the park was hit by some devastating news. A shock that no one could ever have imagined. A disaster that left everybody heartbroken.
Jim Cronin, who founded the Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre in Dorset, has died.
World-renowned conservationist, entrepreneur, larger-than-life character, Jim Cronin. Exactly 20 years ago, he founded Monkey World in rural Dorset. Jim and his wife Alison were tireless campaigners in the battle against the illegal trade in apes, as well as cases of abuse. A battle he vowed would continue. He passed away in a New York clinic after a short battle against cancer.
It's a bit daunting right now. It hasn't been long since Jim passed away. So everything's very raw right now for me. Jeremy's been a rock for me, and you know, I know that his heart is broken as well, but now it's sort of, I suppose you can look at it in a different way. The animals are now giving back to sort of Jeremy and I, sort of what we need in terms of keeping focused, keeping Jim's passion alive. And we're gonna do that.
Jim's passion became our passion, and I'm really honoured to be in that position. Chase dreams. This was Jim's dream, and it's reality. It's not impossible.
Jim wanted to create a safe haven for rescued primates. But 20 years ago, this thriving 65-acre sanctuary housing over 160 primates was a very different place. There were just 9 chimpanzees. Jim took a long lease out on land that was nothing more than a derelict pig farm.
I think everybody throughout the county of Dorset just thought, you know, he was a bit of a crazy American who was going to start this small little monkey park, and he and his monkeys would sort of live out in the woods. He knew that it was possible to build a place that people would embrace and that people would understand why it was so important.
Come on in.
Jim's mission to rescue primates began during the 1980s. There were reports of chimpanzees being used in the tourist industry in Spain. It was something Jim was passionate about.
We are saying to the people in this county and to the British public, you want to see us rescue them, be part of that, and see a rescue operation take place. You adopt a chimp here and save a chimp who is dying in Spain.
You know, Jim and Jeremy came down with a vision and a dream, and actually Amy was with them at that point in time too. It was the 3 of them, Jim, Jeremy, and Amy, and they got started on building what has turned into a huge park now, rescuing species from around the world.
Building up this sanctuary took enormous amounts of hard work, but Jim never gave up and battled to save many of the monkeys and apes that were being horrifically abused.
When they weren't beating them to keep them calm and sedate so they'd pose for the tourists, they were chucking them in small boxes and giving them virtually nothing to eat, as little as possible, just enough to keep them going.
Sure enough, Jim stuck with the mission. At that point in time, he had told the Spanish government that if they enforced the international wildlife laws that protect chimpanzees, that he would come over and he would rehome every single chimpanzee that they confiscated.
And Jim did just that. 4 years ago, Alberto, the last Spanish beach photographer's prop, made it to Monkey World. And in the last 20 years, Jim, Alison, and their team of primate care staff have been on 61 rescue missions in 15 different countries. 43 babies have been born to 10 different species, including some of the rarest primates on the planet. To date, 118 apes and monkeys have been rescued. They have a second chance of a life with their own kind, and it's all down to the passion and determination of Jim Cronin and his team at Monkey World.
He was a great pragmatist, believe it or not, and sort of knew that if he could get the message across to people, that people would feel the same way he did about it. And, you know, there wasn't anybody greater at that. If you came to the park and saw him, he was just always overflowing with enthusiasm. And that's what's so hard. That's what's so hard to take about all of this, is that he had so much life and passion and wanted to share that with everybody. And it's just hard to believe that that's gone. But I guess I'd like to think that anybody who comes to the park now can still see that and can still feel that and still feel that drive. And we're going to carry on. That's what Jim would have wanted, is for everybody to carry on and to keep the message going. And in the last weeks of his life, he made me promise that I would do just that. And I'll try and muster the same sort of force that Jim did. And we'll be good. We'll be good.